Just find this opportunity to stop and slow down. Let's reconnect with our breath. Directing our breath in through our nose down to the lowest part of our ribs, and then bringing it back out from the lowest part of our ribs out through our nose. Allowing our breath to slow down, to take its time as it moves through our body. As we keep our awareness on our breath, we begin to notice our body softening, feeling it surrender into the mat. And bending our knees one at a time. Let's walk our feet in towards our hips and then draw our knees into our chest. Find that same breathing, maybe allowing our breath to move a little bit deeper into the sides of our ribs. And then lifting our feet up to the ceiling. Take our hands to the sides of our legs, rock forward and back till we come up to seated, and then flip over into all fours. From all fours, let's find a few cat-cows. Inhaling, opening up the front of our body. Exhaling, rounding our back. Inhale, open the front. And exhaling, rounding our back. Taking our time with our breath, inhaling, opening. Exhaling, rounding. And take a big inhale with a neutral spine. On our exhale, bend our elbows and breathe out through our mouth, making a big ha sound. And when you're ready, big inhale. Sitting up nice and tall. On our inhale, exhale, bending our elbows, big sigh through our mouth. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, sigh deeply through our mouth. Now you can continue to move just like this or stick out your tongue when you do it. Inhaling big through our nose. Exhaling, opening up our mouth, stick out our tongue, big sigh. Take in as much breath as you can. Exhale everything out. As you breathe in, breathe through your belly, the sides of your ribs. Try not to breathe in through your chest. One more time. Come back to a neutral spine. Walking our hands back towards our knees. Let's find cow pose, tipping our hips forward, our tailbone back, opening up our chest. Holding and breathing. Lifting our chin up to the ceiling if it feels good for us. And then bringing our chin to neutral. Let's come forward, all fours. Extend our right foot out to the side. Point our toes towards the front of our mat. Let our right hip soften. Holding, lengthening through our right inner thigh. And then come back to that cow pose, tipping our tailbone up, opening up our chest, sinking our hips back about halfway, hold. Come back a little bit further if it feels okay for you. Keep our chest opening and our tailbone lifting. Then come back up, holding. I want you to lift just your right heel. Then bend our right knee and lift our right knee up. Kick our right leg out, lower it down, and soften our hip. Bend our right knee, put our right knee on the ground. Extend our left leg out to the side. Softening our left hip, lengthening across our belly, open up our heart, lifting our tailbone up. Sink our hips back about halfway, hold. Go back a little bit further if it feels okay for you. And then come back up. We're going to lift just our left heel. Keep our toes on the ground. Bend our left knee. Lift our left foot up off the ground, keeping our knee lifted. Extend our left foot out, put it back down, soften, lengthen across our belly again. Bending our left knee, put it down on the floor. Let's find a couple cat-cows. Inhaling, opening up the front of our body. Exhaling, rounding our back. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Hold in that rounded position. Sink our hips back halfway, hold. Bend our elbows, lower them down halfway, hold. Straighten our arms again. And come back up, neutral spine. Curl our toes under, lift our knees, find a short downward facing dog. Lifting our tailbone up to the ceiling, letting our weight sink back into our lower body. Walking forward, front of our mat. Folding. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend our knees a lot, rise all the way up. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Step our right foot back halfway. Let our heel come down to the floor. You're gonna walk your left foot out a tiny bit. Starting with your front leg as straight as possible. Feel your toes light and your weight balanced between your feet. And then round your back and fold. Bending our front knee, walk our hands forward. Come onto the fingertips of our hands. Then lift our back heel. Feel all our weight come to our front foot. Step forward and fold. Inhale, lift halfway, find a flat back. Exhale, fold. Step our left foot back halfway. Heel comes to the floor, toes point forward. You can turn your back toes out a little bit if that feels better for your hips. And then we're gonna find our weight balance in our feet, toes light. Straighten our front leg to what honors us. Folding as it feels good for you. Bending our front knee, walking our hands forward, shifting our weight into our front foot, lift our back foot, step forward and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend our knees, lower them down to the mat one at a time. Curling our toes under. Keep our heels pointed up to the ceiling. And we're going to draw our hips back towards our heels and then come back up. Draw our hips back towards our heels and come back up. A couple more times. Stretching the bottom of our feet, our toes. And then come back up. Let's release the top of our feet. We're going to walk our hands back towards our knees and then come up onto a kneeling position. Step our right foot forward, knee over the top of our ankle. Find spinal alignment. Now from here, you may want to block on the back right behind you at your left shin or heel. Put it on a level 3. Rise up tall. We're going to take our right hand to the inside of our right leg. Take our left hand, reach it forward and up. On our next inhale, twist to the left, reaching our left hand back behind us, about parallel to the ground. Use your right hand to hold your right knee in place. Now press our hips forward, lengthen across our belly, move into that cow pose through our spine, opening our heart. From here, you have the option of tucking your tailbone, reaching your left hand down towards the floor, or your heel. Keep lengthening across our belly, opening up our chest. Your right hand can stay on your leg or reach it up to the ceiling. Draw our hips back towards our heel. Right hand comes down. Cartwheel our left hand up and then bring it down to the floor. Right hand's going to stay on our leg. Holding, allowing our hips to soften. Then we're going to cartwheel our hand back up. So left hand comes back up to the ceiling. Twist to the left. Tuck our tailbone, reach our left hand back to our block or our foot. Opening up our chest, lengthening across our belly. Then draw our hips back, feel that crunch through and stabilization through the front of our body. And then cartwheel our hand down towards the floor. Holding, letting our hips soften. We're going to do that one more time. Cartwheel our hands up. Twist to the left. Tuck our tailbone. Find core stability as you come back. Then lengthen across our belly. Open up our chest once your hand is stable on whatever you chose to put it on. Then draw our tailbone back, hug our belly in, cartwheel our left hand up, and then rotate back down to the floor. Softening our hips. Take our right hand to the floor, draw our right knee back, put our left foot forward, and then we're going to come up to a kneeling position. Find your ankle underneath your knee. Left hand is going to come to the inside of your left leg. Right hand reaches up. On our exhale, twist to the right, keeping our left knee out. Tuck our tailbone, press our hips forward, engage our core, reach our right hand back to prop or foot. Then lengthen across our belly, open up our heart, option to reach our left hand up. Make sure you're not dropping your left knee in, that you're keeping it in line with your toes. Hug our bellies in again. So you're finding that stability through the core. Then cartwheel our hands down. So left hand's going to come to our leg, right hand down to the floor. And pause, softening our hips. On our next inhale, engage our core, lift our right hand, open it up to the right. Keep that left knee pressed out. Tuck our tailbone, hug our belly in, right hand comes down to what honors you. Then lengthen across our belly, open our heart. Then draw our tailbone back, hips back, engage our core, cartwheel our hands back down to the floor. Drawing our hips back a little bit, softening. One more time, inhale, lift our chest, right hand reaches up. Open up our twist. Tuck our tailbone, hug our bellies in, right hand reaches back. Once you find that stability, lengthen across your belly, open your heart. Then draw our tailbone back towards our heel, hug our belly in, cartwheel our hands back down to the floor. Pausing and softening. Putting our left hand on the floor. Release our left knee down to the floor. Let's find a couple cat-cows. Inhaling, opening our heart. Exhaling, rounding our back. Inhale, open our heart. Exhaling, rounding our back. Hold with your back rounded. Sink your hips back halfway. And then come back up, flat back. Let's grab a hold of both of our blocks. And then we're going to stack one block on top of the other. If you don't have a block, it's okay. You can use a towel. You can use an extra rolled up mat, whatever you have that you can give a bit of a hug. Using blocks, we're stacking them. You're going to place them at your chest. Wrap one arm around and then the other. So giving them a nice big hug. Come up onto your knees. Now I want you to find a neutral spine to begin with. Even though your shoulders are rounded, I want you to think about your upper back in a neutral position, your ribs in a neutral position. Then we're going to keep our hips exactly where they are. We're not going to move them. Round our upper back and draw your props towards your belly button so that you're rounding just your upper back. Then inhale, lift your chest up, and then keep your hips exactly where they are. You're going to lengthen across your belly and reach your props up to the ceiling. Exhaling, rounding your upper back only, drawing your blocks towards your belly. Don't let your hips move. And then inhale, lift our chest up towards the ceiling, taking our props with. Don't press your hips forward. Keep them stable. And then again, rounding. And inhaling, lifting, and opening. Bringing our spines to neutral. Let's release our props off to the side. And then we're going to crawl forward, flip over onto our backs. As we lower down, I want you to take a moment to check in with your spine. Noticing, does it feel neutral? Notice our shoulders, our neck, our head. Then bring our awareness to our hips, noticing how they feel. We're going to grab a hold of one of our blocks, lift our hips up off the floor, and I want you to slide the block level 1 underneath your hips, closer to your tailbone than your low back. Then let your belly button sink in towards your spine. So you're now rounding your low back. Then lift your feet and draw your knees into your chest. Allowing the block to support our knees to chest while our arms get to relax out. Notice the length through our low back while we use gravity. Then we're going to extend our right leg back and then bend our knee. Extend our left leg. Try to keep your thigh soft towards your body. Bend your left knee. Moving slowly, extend your right leg and bend. Extend your left leg and bend. Try not to move your upper thigh, just extending your leg to what honors you. Switching legs, nice and slow. Switch again. And switch. And bend. Let our feet hang. And then we're going to lower our feet down to the floor. Extend our right leg. Keep our belly hugged in a lot. Stretching across the front of our right hip. Now, very slowly and controlled, tip our hips to a neutral position so that your low back returns to its natural curve. Your chest is going to rise up. That's okay. And then I want you to hug your belly button in, round your low back like you were moving into cat pose. Notice how the stretch deepens across the front of our hip, but we're rounding our low back to get there. And you're supporting your low back by hugging your belly in. Bringing our spines back to neutral in the low back region. So tipping our pelvis up so that it's neutral, and then tipping our pelvis back to round our low back. We're going to do that one more time. Bring our hips to neutral, lengthening across our belly. Feel that stability in your low back. And then round, hugging our bellies in. Bend our right knee. Extend our left leg. Feel our toes point up, belly hug in. Feeling our low back soften towards the floor. Left toes are pointed up. And bring our pelvis to neutral, so we're lifting our belly button. And then slowly draw our belly button down towards our spine, rounding our low back. Bring our hips to neutral. And exhaling, rounding. One more time. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, lowering. Bend our left knee. Lift our hips. Remove the block out from underneath us. Let our hips come back down. And then we're going to let our arms relax out, palms facing up. Feel our belly hug in a little bit. So feel our ribs pull down, our belly contract. Everything gets stable within our core. Lift our right heel. Lower it down, lift our left. Switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. Hold. Lift our right foot. Feel the stability within our hips. Lower our right foot and heel. Lift our left heel. Flex our left foot, lifting our toes up off the floor. Back of our hips are staying solid on the mat. Belly stays firm. Notice the engagement for right shoulder to left hip. Lower down and switch feet. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And relax. Feeling our belly and our core soften. We're going to lift our right arm, let it hover above the floor. Lower it down. Lift our left arm, let it hover above the floor. We're not lifting it up very far. Lower down, lift our right arm. Feel the action from right shoulder to left hip. Lower down, lift our left arm, let it hover. Left shoulder to right hip. Feeling it engage. It's a little more subtle. It's also quite a bit higher. So it's up in the upper belly versus lower. And switch. And switch. Keep our shoulder blade firm on our back. Keep our chest open. And switch. Still breathing deep into the lowest part of our ribs. And switch. And switch. And switch. And relax. Let our belly soften. Turn our palms facing down. Lift our arms up and overhead. Let our ribs soften down. Walking our feet out a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Check in with our ribs. Are they in a comfortable place for you? Let's bend our elbows, draw our arms out to the side like wings. Lower our knees over to the right, lifting our left hip up off the floor. Stay here or extend our left arm back. Hug our left shoulder blade onto our back. Option, lift our head, turn our gaze to the right, and lower our head back down. Lifting our head, bringing it back to center. Slide our left arm out to the side. Lift our knees up, take them over to the left. Lifting our right hip up off the floor. Option, right hand comes back behind you. Shoulder blade pulls down our back. Option, lift our head and turn it to the left. Lifting our head, bring it back to center. Sliding our right arm back out to the side. Lifting our knees back up. Take our blocks, place them underneath our knees. And we're going to set up for Shavasana. As we do, I want you to take one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly. Closing your eyes. Focus on where your breath is going. Drawing our awareness back to our bodies. Let our breath begin to deepen. And as we deepen it, notice how it moves through the core of our body. If you find you're breathing into your upper hand, draw your breath down into your lower hand. Then bending our knees, kick our blocks off to the side. Using core stability, lift our head. Notice how our belly engages. Keep that belly engaged as you roll over to your right side. Use your left hand to press yourself up and come up to seated. Let our shoulders soften down. Let our head and neck relax. And check in with our low back, our hips, our legs. Bringing our hands together in front of our heart, sealing in all that we found in this practice. From the mindfulness and movement to how we expect our body to move, to breathing and letting go. Take all of this as a gift that we can use off of our mat into our day-to-day life. Namaste.